Hello everybody, Steady Muffin here, back with a brand new video for my channel, and a first for my channel as well, as I'm going to be doing a film review and sort of my thoughts on the film for the first time on my channel. Now the film we're going to be taking a look at is It Chapter 2. Now before we get into this, a couple of disclaimers. Obviously there are going to be some spoilers in this video, so if you haven't seen it and you do plan on going to see it, click off now, but do come back at another point after you've seen the film to check it out. And secondly, this is obviously my opinions and my thoughts on this film. You've probably got your own thoughts and opinions if you've seen it, and that is what the comment section down below is for. Make sure you put your comments down there on your thoughts of the film. Yeah, but this is going to be my thoughts and my opinions, so don't hate on me. I'm allowed to have my own opinion. Now while you're down there dropping your comments, why don't you smash that thumbs up button while you are there, and if you're new to the channel, subscribe, and let me know as well if you like this sort of content, if you think film reviews are a good thing. I did enjoy doing this video, or I am enjoying doing this video, so make sure you drop a comment down below as well. Let me know if this is the sort of content you like. Now a little backstory first, in case you haven't got a clue what I'm on about. In 2017, they released It, or It Chapter 1. That was released in the cinema. It was the second adaptation of the Stephen King novel It. And that was released in 1986. The first adaptation was the film It. That was released in 1990, starring Tim Curry as the killer clown Pennywise. Now, Pennywise is a shape-shifted entity. It terrorizes the young children of Derry, Maine, lures them in as the dancing clown, and then takes the form of their deepest fears before brutally murdering them. Lovely chap. In a nutshell, the film consists of Pennywise murdering a young boy called Georgie. Now, Georgie is the young brother of Will Denver, who forms the club called the Losers Club. That's made up of Will, Ben, Beverly, Richie, Stan, Eddie, and Mike. All losers at school that get picked on daily by the Derry bully Henry Bowers. The Losers Club is also being targeted by Pennywise, but form together to fight the evil clown and eventually defeat the entity known as It, or so they thought. They make a promise that if It isn't dead, they will come back and finish the job. Now the second part of the film is the Losers Club all grown up. They've forgotten about the past. For the most, all are successful in life, apart from Mike, who is the only one in the group who stayed in Derry, kept his eye out for any It activity, and sure enough, it happens. And he calls all the group back to reform the Losers Club and fight It once again. Now there are a lot of differences between the book and the films, for obvious reasons. I mean, they couldn't have Beverly have sex with each of the boys after the first battle with It because, ew. There are a lot, though, references to the book throughout the 1990 release of It. Now, if we fast forward to 2017 and we have the second coming of It, or It Chapter 1, they cast Bill Skarsgård as the evil clown. It runs a very similar storyline to the first adaptation. It's just a lot more CGI involved. It leaves the action just after the losers beat off It and make their blood oath to return if It isn't dead. Now, if you haven't seen the original 1990 film or the 2017 film, I would highly recommend to see them both. They are great films. Now, on to It Chapter 2. This one starts off closer to the book. Opens with a male couple out for some fun at the Derry Fair before they're set upon by some homophobics. They're beaten to a bloody pulp. One's tossed into the river. Now, while the other one tries to save his fallen love, he is saved by Pennywise before eaten in front of his lover. And so it all begins again. Mike is still the only loser in Derry. He's slightly more crazier than in previous adaptations, though. I don't know if that was on purpose or just how it ended out, but he seemed a lot more out of his head. He does begin to round up the troops. Now, to my thoughts. The major difference between this film and the second half of the 1990 film is the inclusion of this ritual of Chud. I think it's pronounced Chud. A ritual which apparently some Native Americans used to try and kill It once and for all. This ritual is where I have a major gripe with the film. Not mentioned once in the first chapter, despite in the book it was how Will was able to enter It's mind, defeat him and send him off to lick his wounds. Instead, this time around, it felt like they just shoehorned the ritual into the second part as they're all adults. And to be honest, it just felt a bit weird. It never felt truly believable in the film, and me as a reviewer, I just felt awkward watching it. If this ritual was designed to kill It, then why is It still around? It obviously didn't work, or it hadn't worked then, and it wasn't going to work this time either. To include it in Chapter 2 and have it such a big thing seemed a bit ridiculous and a waste of time. Now, it did give a reason for the losers to go back into their childhood memories, find an artifact from the past so they could have an encounter with Pennywise, but that was easily achieved in the 1990 film without the inclusion of this silly ritual. Perhaps they didn't want to just completely remake the original film, but the ritual wasn't included in that film in any way, shape or form. Maybe they thought it was a good idea to bring it in as a different angle from the book, but for me it just did not really work. Other than this, the film really relies majorly on CGI and obvious jump scares, but not only that, it is nearly 3 hours long, with the final hour mainly just hugging, reading letters, and it just plainly refused to end. Don't get me wrong though, there are some parts of this film I really enjoyed. The chemistry between Richie and Eddie was funny. I really enjoyed some of the one-line jokes they had, although I was a little bit suspect of the acting of Eddie at the start of the film. It just seemed to me like he was reading his lines straight off the script or something. But I think Bill Skarsgård did a good job as Pennywise the Clown, although Tim Curry had a much better chance of really bringing out the craziness of the clown. As this new one really mainly was CGI based, he didn't get a chance to bring out his side of the clown as him. Now, in my opinion, they could have cut out a lot of the unnecessary jump scares and taken the runtime of this film down to under 2 hours. It went on way too long in the end. They should not have included the ritual whatsoever. To me, it made zero sense to have it there. They should have resisted using as much CGI as they did, as I never really connected with Bill Skarsgård's Pennywise as much as I did Tim Curry's. And the mistake I made going into this film was I probably expected it to be a lot like the second half of the 1990 release, as Chapter 1 was of the first half. It's not. So I left the cinema feeling a little disappointed with the film. Now, if you didn't read the book and only seen the first film, you will probably feel a little bit like me, a little bit confused about where this ritual came from. If you've just seen Chapter 1 and not read the book or seen the original film, then you probably might enjoy this. It is a decent horror film, it's just not what I expected. And that's going to do it for this review. Like I said, drop a comment down below if you've got any thoughts or opinions about this film and what you thought about it. Make sure you smash that thumbs up button, make sure you're subscribed to the channel, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.
Hey, what time is it?